What if everything you thought you knew about hard work was wrong? Imagine climbing a mountain. One person pushes with all their strength. The other uses his mind to find a smarter way. Who do you think gets to the top first? The answer might surprise you. Today, I want to share a story about two boys from a small village and an old school with no technology, just chalkboards and pure wisdom. Their teacher gave them a test, not from a book, not a paper exam, but a test about life itself. One boy believed in hard work alone. The other believed in hard work and thinking smart. Their paths to success couldn't have been more different, but the lesson they learned changed their lives forever. If you've ever felt stuck or thought that working harder was all you needed, this story might show you something deeper. In a quiet village, nestled between green hills, stood an old school made of stone and wood. It wasn't fancy. No computers, no bright screens, just blackboards, chalk, and a teacher named Srimant Babu. He was known for his wisdom. Almost 70 years old, his back bent from decades of teaching, his beard white, but his eyes sharp and kind. He didn't just teach lessons, he shaped futures. Among his many students, two boys stood out, Robbie and Sujan. Robbie was the kind of student who studied from sunrise to sunset. Books were his world. He believed success came only from hard work. Every day, he memorized pages and practiced formulas over and over. To Robbie, if you didn't suffer, if you didn't sweat, you didn't deserve success. Sujan thought differently. He was smart, careful. He believed working hard was important. But it wasn't the whole story. If you row a boat in the desert, he said, no matter how hard you row, you'll never move. To Sujan, you had to work smart, not just hard. There was something else too. Robbie came from a family that could support his studies. His parents gave him food, peace, and time to focus. Sujan's story was tougher. He was the son of Harlel, a poor farmer. Every morning, before school, Sujan helped his father in the fields, plowing, carrying heavy loads, planting seeds. His hands were rough, his clothes dirty. Often his stomach was empty. One evening, Sujan came home exhausted. Mud stained his clothes. His hands blistered. He was hungry, but instead of resting, he lit a small kerosene lamp and opened his worn-out books. His father saw him and sighed deeply. "Why are you still reading?" Harlel asked. "We're poor. What will books do for us?" Sujan looked up, tired but determined. "Father," he said softly, "if I don't study, we will stay poor forever. I want to change that." His father shook his head slowly. "Education is for the rich. I can't pay school fees. Dreams like that aren't for us." Sujan's voice didn't tremble. "I'm not studying just for money. I'm studying for hope. Even if it's hard now, someday it will be worth it." That night, Sujan didn't sleep. By the fading lamp, he whispered formulas and sentences to himself. His dream was long, and time was short. Weeks later, the teacher, Srimant Babu, called both boys forward. "This is your final test," he said. "Not written on paper. This test is about life." Robbie and Sujan listened carefully. Behind the village is a mountain. At its top grows a rare blue flower. "I want each of you to bring me that flower. The one who returns first will be the winner." The challenge was clear. The next morning, Robbie woke before dawn. He started climbing the mountain straight away. The path was rocky and steep. Sharp stones cut his hands. Thorns scratched his legs. The sun beat down, draining his energy. But Robbie pushed harder. "I must be first," he told himself. "I must prove that hard work wins." Sujan stood at the mountain's base. But he didn't rush. He looked carefully at his surroundings. Nearby, an old man sat under a tree. Sujan asked respectfully, "Is there an easier or safer way to the top?" The old man smiled gently. "There's a narrow trail at the back of the mountain. It's longer, but less steep. You'll save your strength and still reach the top." Sujan thanked him and took that path. He walked steadily, pacing himself. He watched the sun to keep cool, drank water at the right time, and avoided loose rocks. He used his mind and his body together. Meanwhile, Robbie struggled. His feet slipped, his breath burned, his hands bled, but he never stopped. Hours later, Robbie reached the top. His body was shaking, pain burning through him. He saw the blue flower and picked it. But just as he turned to climb down, he froze. Sujan was already on his way back, calmly walking down the mountain, flower in hand. Robbie's heart sank. How? He wondered. I worked so hard. I climbed straight up. How did he get here before me? Back at the school, the two boys stood before Shrimant Babu, each holding the rare flower. The teacher smiled kindly. Robbie, he said, your hard work is clear. You faced pain, heat and struggle. You believed suffering proved success. But pain alone does not mean success. He turned to Sujan. Sujan, you used your mind well. You found a smarter path. That is wisdom. But never forget, only looking for shortcuts can make you miss the lessons that come from struggle. Robbie's eyes filled with tears. Guruji, I understand now. I thought pain meant success. But pain without direction is just pain. Sujan spoke softly. I see that intelligence without effort is not enough. Success must be earned. Shrimant Babu placed his hands on their heads. To succeed, you need both hard work and smart work. One without the other is incomplete. And remember, success is never permanent without steady effort. Years passed. Robbie became a brilliant scientist. He worked hard, but paused first to think. He asked questions and planned before pushing forward. Sujan became a successful business owner. He used strategy, but never avoided long hours or effort. One cold winter, both returned to their village. The old school was still standing, worn, but proud. Nearby, Shrimant Babu rested, old and weak. They sat beside him and said together, Guruji, your test made us who we are. The teacher smiled, eyes wet with pride. I always knew you'd become great because you learned the most important lesson. Success is not just working hard and not just being smart. It's knowing when to do what. Let's break it down. Hard work alone can take you longer to reach your goal if you don't have direction. Smart work without effort is empty. Always chasing shortcuts isn't right. Success without effort does not last. To truly succeed, you need both effort and intelligence. So when life puts a mountain in front of you, don't just climb blindly. Think, plan, then climb with everything you have. If this story helped you see success in a new way, subscribe for more powerful lessons like this.